Hi, my name is Aaron J. Marx. You can find out more about me at aaronjmarx.com. I'm a visionary purpose coach and a metaphysical leadership mentor. To my knowledge, I'm the only one in human history who's claimed either of those titles, and those that know me well tell me they couldn't imagine better ones for me. For as long as I can remember, I felt like my mind has worked just a little differently than most people's. At times it's been uncomfortable, but I've begun to see that it's actually incredibly important and that there's never been a better time to share the way that I think and see with the creative and entrepreneurial leaders out there who need to hear it. This is my podcast, A Higher Level. Everything we think, see, and do here happens on a higher level, and that makes all the difference. For some of you, these are among the most important and transformational conversations you will ever hear, and they will fill in something you may not have even known was missing, but something that is essential for your happiness and transformation. This podcast is all about creating a space for these conversations, a place to explore your deepest and most persistent questions about the human condition, a place to dream, play, and muse about the meaning of it all, a place people tell me only I can help them access, and a place of crucial importance for the human spirit and our future as the human race. On a higher level, everything is vast, rich, beautiful, and deeply optimistic. Join me there now, on a higher level. Hi, this is Aaron Marx of aaronjmarx.com. I'm a visionary purpose coach and metaphysical leadership mentor. And this is my podcast. It's called A Higher Level. I call it A Higher Level because everything that I do for my clients, and these are business consulting and leadership coaching clients. Everything that I do for them is designed to help them see, think, and act on a higher level. And that gets them a different kind of result in their life than what they were getting before they started talking to me. And it looks like all sorts of different things. And people approach me for all sorts of different reasons to work with me and get results like that. And it typically starts because they're dissatisfied with something. They're frustrated with something, or they're aspiring to something and it hasn't arrived in their life yet. But I've had clients approach me because of problems in their business, problems in their personal life, and often some combination of them. And they just know there's a better life for them that they haven't been able to achieve or realize yet. And I start talking to them and I see it's because they're not seeing it right. They're not thinking it right. And they're not taking the right actions to get there. And then after we talk for a while, it starts to become clear to them what all of that looks like. So I decided to create a podcast, because for a number of reasons. One is to find more people who need that. Another one is because these are conversations that I want to have. One of the reasons I'm able to do this is because my mind has worked a certain way for a long time. I mean, as long as I can remember. There's always been something just a little different about the way that I've thought. And it's something that not everyone has understood over the course of my life journey. I think people have found me difficult to understand at times, difficult to deal with at others. And it's this way of thinking, and that's really kind of what we're going to get into in future episodes. That's been responsible for that. But lately, I've been finding that the way that I think, the way that I see things, is very, very important and helpful for certain people. And so, I'm recording this podcast here to broadcast this and increase my audience, because if there's some people who need it, then there's a lot more people who need it. And the beauty of the world in which we live today is that it doesn't just have to stay in my geographic area. This can go all over the world, and that's one of the reasons that I'm doing this. So people tell me that when we start having conversations, of the kind that they tell me only I can have, they start to feel peaceful. They start to feel hopeful. They start to feel optimistic. They start to have a vision like they haven't before. And what they tell me is that they've grown accustomed to experiencing their lives as a series of frustrations, frustrations on a number of levels. But they go through their days, and they get just frustrated by a lot of things that happen, and a lot of the people who they talk to and deal with. These are people from all over the place, and then when they start talking to me, there's a sort of a space that's created. It's a clear, peaceful, visionary space. And we can talk on a level that they haven't experienced talking on with anyone else. We talk about um, grand visions and big pictures and the nature of human life itself. And it's fascinating to me because this is the kind of thinking that I've been doing as long as I can remember. I kind of look around and look at the human race, and this civilization that I find myself in, and there's so many things that I find just curious and strange about it, and I can't even articulate all of them. Yeah, it's like that's why I have the conversations that I do. It's because we explore that from all these different angles, and I think what my clients will tell you is that there's all these little thoughts that they've had, and maybe half entertained and then filed away because they didn't take them seriously for some reason or another. And they didn't have anyone else in their life who understood them. And then when I come in and I start talking to them, I touch on all these little thoughts that they've half considered and half stored away, not completely, and they can dust them out or pull them out, dust them off, and take them seriously, and see that they're not alone in thinking them. That yes, there is something indeed very strange about this thing we call existence, and this thing we call life, and this thing we call the human condition, and some of us just need a place to explore that. And I don't know why, but those of us who do, we become better, more visionary, more proactive leaders in the process, and then we have a lot more fun in our lives. So that's what this podcast is about. It's about having those conversations, and so if you're a leader, or if you aspire to be a leader, and in many ways, I think everyone is a leader. I think anyone who seeks to create something or change something ends up being a leader, at least on a certain level. So I really think that is a universal human condition. But if you think of yourself as a leader, or if you want to become a better leader, if you're creative, if you want to be more creative, if you want to create more, if you're entrepreneurial, and entrepreneurship is another thing that I think most of us do in some way. But if you think of yourself as an entrepreneur, if you want to think of yourself more as an entrepreneur, if you want to become more entrepreneurially proactive in your life, even if you have a job in an organization, I think one of the interesting things about our time right now is that many of these boundaries are being blurred. So you can be entrepreneurial and still have a job in an organization, and a friend of mine calls that entrepreneurial, the state of being entrepreneurial. And and I think you can be a creative and a leader. I don't see a distinction between those two either. So there's all these distinctions that we've traditionally held that I think maybe it's time to revisit, and see if the boundaries are as clear as we've all kind of assumed they are. So anyway, if that's you, if you're anyone who wants to be more entrepreneurial, more leadership oriented, more creative, more proactive, in creating a life that you want, that's moving toward your aspiration and away from your frustration, and if the way I'm speaking here is kind of touching on a wavelength that you've longed for and haven't had very many people in your life to to engage with on that level, then this is what you've been waiting for. And you're really going to enjoy the conversations that I have here. Now, when I say conversations, a lot of it's just going to be me. Perhaps there'll be guests in time. I know at least there's going to be one guest who I'm very excited to introduce you to, but that'll happen in due time. So, so yeah, I hope you're as excited about this as I am. Also, one other thing I want to note. This is one of the ways that I know I'm doing the right thing here is that I never I never knew what a podcast would be for me, but here I am finding it. And this is a different way of proceeding and being for me because until this point, um, I would never have wanted to sit down in front of a microphone and speak into it without a script. Um, I would have written it out. And I don't know why. I don't know what I was scared of. I guess I was scared that I wouldn't say the right things. I would overlook things. But somehow I know that this is the right thing for me at this time. And so I felt comfortable. I've had the faith, I've had the trust to sit down and just speak into this microphone and know that I would say all the right things at some point in a certain order. And that it will get to the audience that it needs to. So it will get to you and you'll hear the right things in it and you'll connect with it. And then if it's right for you, you'll get in touch with me and we'll start a conversation of our own. So I just wanted to let you know that, this is an act of faith for me, sitting down and speaking extemporaneously, with a general outline in my head. But I'm smiling as I say this, because it's a very joyful thing for me. So we're going to get into some cool stuff. I'll just go over some of the topics that I have planned out for upcoming episodes. So I'm on the introduction now, what the podcast is and who it's for. And then a note out of my comfort zone outlined, but unscripted. So actually I put that and I had planned to say that and I did. So I think the next episode is going to be my story. So in other words, how did I get where I am now? How did I get to this point of speaking into this microphone, saying the things that I just did? And knowing that they were the right ones. Then we're going to talk about absurdity, because that's the one quality that I feel like all the people who really love the conversations with me share is that they look around at their life, human life, existence, the human condition, and they say, "Wow, there's something just very, very strange about this." And absurd is really the best word. And we delight in that and we share it and we sort of play in it, and that's where all the best work happens. That's where the leadership transformation happens. I don't know why, but apparently it's just what I'm here to do. We're going to talk about what some leaders need. I have an episode coming up featuring some excerpts from a show that I watched a while ago called Dead Like Me that I think really found something very true about the human condition and explored it in a very clever, creative, funny way. So we're going to talk a little bit, or I'm going to introduce a couple clips from that show in relation to something that I think about and something that that other people who talk to me think about as well. We're going to talk about metaphysics because that's one of the things I call myself as a metaphysical leadership mentor. So what do I mean by that? Why do I call myself that? It's a very, very deliberately chosen word, and it's because I think about metaphysics all the time, and I think about kind of the nature of what is and how humans are here to relate to that, and how the human spirit is to best operates within that framework. And I have ways of describing all of this. So, we're going to talk about that. And then my metaphysics for leaders. And, there's a whole series about that metaphysics. And so I think that's good for now. And then, somewhere probably in the midst of that, I'll introduce you to my first guest, and again, I'm very excited for you to meet him, and you'll understand why when I do. So, I'm super excited about this. I'm super excited to talk with you and to be with you on a higher level, as that's because that's where my brain likes to live. And what I'm finding is that I really think that is what I'm here to do. And so I am creating a life in which I can do that as much as possible, in which I can speak and think and see and guide people as much as possible on and from that higher level. And together we're going to change the world. So thanks so much for joining me for this first unscripted and extemporaneous episode. I'm feeling awesome. And A year ago, I wouldn't have ever expected feeling this awesome, just extemporizing, I think extemporizing for however long it's been. And so I'm super excited to keep going on this journey of a higher level with you. And I'll see you on the next episode. This is Aaron Marx. You can find more about me at aaronjmarx.com. And I'm a visionary purpose coach and metaphysical leadership mentor. See you next time on a higher level. Thanks so much for listening to A Higher Level. I hope that got you seeing, thinking, and acting just a little differently, or maybe even a lot. When you act differently, you get different results. But we need to start with the vision and the thinking. How do you feel? Ready to go and make positive, inspiring changes in your life and work? If so, it means what we're doing here is working, and I would love for you to let me know if this is you. There's a bunch of ways for you to get in touch with me. You can go to my website, aaronjmarx.com, or look for Aaron J. Marx, Visionary Purpose Coach and Metaphysical Leadership Mentor on Facebook, or you can look for Aaron J. Marx on LinkedIn or Instagram, whatever is easiest for you. And if this is speaking to you, I might suggest that you think about becoming one of my leadership coaching clients. In our work together, we'll have conversations on this level, but tailored just to your life and aspirations. You really can't imagine what a difference this can make for your mindset, vision, and results. The first step after learning more about my approach is to book a free, no-obligation discovery call, both of which you can do at aaronjmarx.com. If your intuition is nudging you, don't wait any longer. It is likely the next step along the marvelous journey of wherever you are here to go and whatever it is you are here to do. And I can't wait to meet you. Thanks again for listening, everyone. I'll see you on the next episode when we'll continue to see, think, and act on a higher level. I'll see you then. A Higher Level is the official podcast of Aaron J. Marx, Visionary Purpose Coach and Metaphysical Leadership Mentor. Learn more at www.aaronjmarx.com. A Higher Level is written, recorded, edited, and produced by Aaron J. Marx. Music is by Arie. I'll see you next time on A Higher Level.